What's up, guys? Jebber Game Jaws here, coming to you with another video. I wanted to talk about my PS4 collection. The PS4 has been a really awesome console for me. It kind of springboarded me into getting back into modern gaming. I had taken about 7 years off of gaming, completely missed the PS3 generation, and so basically, I bought a PS3 at the very tail end of its life cycle, and I played a couple games like Final Fantasy 13, but for the most part, I just missed like all of those games, so it was really cool. It was 2015 when I finally got a PS4. So me being reintroduced to video games, I went through a lot of my retro game stuff. Like I started out playing Metal Gear Solid on the GameCube, and then I proceeded to buy a PS2, and basically I played a lot of PS1 RPGs on that. I went through Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, Chrono Cross again. And then it was kind of at that point that I decided to springboard into some newer stuff. Oh yeah, I played Metal Gear Solid 2 on PS2 again, also before getting a PS4. So when I bought my PS4, I was basically a couple weeks away from moving to Pennsylvania from Michigan. I was living there. We were moving here because of my wife's health problems and to be closer to her family. So I had quit my job, and I had a couple weeks to just kind of kill in the in-between time. And I actually started out playing Metal Gear Solid, The Phantom Pain, but I started playing this game not on the PS4. I actually bought it for the Xbox 360 right when it came out because my brother-in-law had a 360 and he let me use it. So I got about 20 hours into the game on the 360 before somehow my save game got deleted. And I was super bummed. You know, I was like, oh, seriously, 20 hours. I was having a blast with it. So that was enough motivation for me to be like, screw it, I'm not going to play it all again on the 360. I'm just going to go, you know, I didn't want to risk having that happen again. I didn't even understand how it happened in the first place. So I was like, screw it, I'm trading in my Phantom Pain on the 360, and I'm going and getting the PS4 version, and I'm getting a PS4. And that's exactly what I did, and it was like the best decision I could have ever made. The PS4 is probably my third favorite console of all time at this point. It is absolutely been one phenomenal ride. There has not been a single point along the way where I haven't had something phenomenal to play. And one of the nice things for me personally, because I miss the PS3 and the 360 generation so much, there have been a lot of remasters for some of the best games of that generation. So it's been nice to be able to play those games on my new console and with better visuals and frame rates sometimes and stuff like that. So anyway, so starting off, it was really awesome playing the Phantom Pain. This game was so good to me. It was really surprising to me. I loved the gameplay, honestly. There were issues with the story and the way it was delivered. I didn't love that like you had to like listen to these tapes to get some of the story. But for me, I was so entrenched in the gameplay, and it was just so much fun that I didn't really care. One of the absolute best parts of this game, and a little bit of a spoiler if you haven't played it yet, but there's a sniper fight with a character in the game, and it's so cool. It was one of those experiences that just kind of blew my mind because I had never experienced anything like it. It was a little bit similar to in Metal Gear Solid 3 when you do the sniper fight against the old man. Can't remember his name. The End, I think. But this like just took that and made it a huge, like an even bigger area that you had. You had to like make. I don't know. It's like it was so realistic. It was so much bigger and better than I could have ever imagined. Like, and Metal Gear Solid has always had those sniper fights. The first one on the PlayStation had you know, a sniper fight with Sniper Wolf, and that was really fun and cool, but this just like was absolutely insane. So that was a really good experience. Yeah, the game was very dark and gritty. I really liked the first couple hours. It felt very Metal Gear Solid-ish. And then it kind of became its own thing after that. And you would build a base and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't think that it's a 10 out of 10. I would say that this game is a solid 8, though. I really loved that game. So then, after playing that game, when I moved here, I was still playing it. And then I moved on to a new experience, and that was The Last of Us. I had no idea what I was in for when I picked up this game. Like, I had heard really good things about it. I saw it everywhere. This was a PS3 game that was remastered for the PS4, and this game, like, changed my life. I had no idea. I always loved stories in video games. I had no idea that this game was going to be just so phenomenal as it is. The story and the characters just changed my life. They'll be with me forever. They are stuck to me like glue. I've replayed this game multiple times. I will definitely be replaying it one more time at least before The Last of Us Part 2 comes out, which I am very, very excited for. Man, if you haven't played this game, you absolutely have to. This is in my top 5 games of all time. It's just freaking awesome. So then, at that point, I'm starting to get, like, super excited. I'm like, wow, this PlayStation 4 generation is freaking sweet. But then I was looking for another game to play, so I was doing research. I was listening to reviews on a few different games, and of course, that was when I watched Angry Joe's review of The Witcher 3, and I drove to GameStop, and I bought this game. And as most of you guys know, this game has become my favorite game of all time. I freaking love this game. If you haven't played it, you absolutely have to. I literally have a Witcher tattoo, these 2 swords with the skulls of the monster and the human. As you can see, Geralt has 2 swords. One is steel, one is silver for the monster and the human. I've replayed this game so many times. Actually, lately, I've been replaying it on the Xbox One because I got a Xbox One X, and I'll never play the PS4 version again because this just absolutely dominates it visually and frame rates wise. But this is how I first played the game, and I'll never, ever forget that. If you have an Xbox One X, it's pretty awesome. Or I know the PC is probably even better. But no matter how you play that game, even if it's on a base Xbox One or a base PS4, like, you have to play that game. It's the best. Moving on. So then, at that point, like, I'm just firing on all cylinders. I'm like, holy shit, this system is, like, one of the best things I've ever had in my entire life. Like, this generation, what the heck? Like, gaming was in a totally new stratosphere for me. And so from that point, I moved on. I'll just go through some of these games. A lot of these I'm not going to spend as much time on as I have on some of those, because that was my initial experience, and then 2 of my absolute favorite games of all time. And I go into more depth with those games in other videos on my channel if you want to find those. But I moved on and played Tomb Raider, the Definitive Edition. Had a great time with this game. It was amazing. That's also a remaster from the PS3 and 360. The second game in the generation was awesome. This was a bummer because this was an Xbox One exclusive for like a year. It was a timed exclusive, and I was so bummed when that came out because I really wanted to play it, and I had to wait because I didn't have an Xbox One at the time. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. This only came out like maybe 4, 5, 6 months ago, something like that. I just played it. It's awesome. It's freaking great. I think this is probably my favorite out of all of them. And people were talking about it like it wasn't that great, and I don't see it. I didn't understand it. It was great. The story, there was a point in this story that actually made me super emotional and super teary. And it's a point where you play as Laura as a child, and it's just awesome. Highly recommend all 3 of those games. In the same vein, another remaster from the earlier generation I got to play was the Uncharted Collection. Uncharted 1, 2, and 3. These were super fun. I like the Tomb Raider series a lot better, but this is really good. I mean, you really can't complain, like, super awesome. And then they just, perfected the model even more with Uncharted 4. They just took what was good about those games and just made it even better. This is phenomenal. These are games that just, like, you really just can't go wrong. It's like you're not gonna have a bad experience if you're playing any of these. And that's what I've loved so much about this generation. It's just like there are games over and over and over that I pick up that I'm just, like, so impressed with, visually, gameplay wise, story wise, character wise. It's awesome. It was so cool when Skyrim got remastered and I played this game. I played the shit out of it, had a blast. It was worth all the hype that everybody talked about. My very first introduction to Fallout, I was super late to the party, obviously, because I hadn't played Fallout 3 or New Vegas, but I played Fallout 4, ended up playing through the game twice, completely. There were some problems with the game, but ultimately I just had such a good time exploring the world and, building base camps and shooting things and, like, the exploration is just phenomenal, and I just freaking love the setting. I love Vault Boy, as you can see, and yeah, Fallout is very cool. I think that Skyrim is technically a better game, but I like the setting of Fallout much more, and so I would choose Fallout over Elder Scrolls anytime. This game, my cousin Jake gave to me. It's very similar to the Assassin's Creed style games, but this game is super dark, super heavy. You're playing in Mordor the entire time. You're surrounded by orcs. It is an oppressive game. I have to say, like, be careful with this one. If are, I'm generally not even influenced that much by stuff like that, and this game really started to get hard for me. Like, you need to take breaks as you play this because it's really, really dark, but it's really fun. Super great gameplay. Good 7 or 8 out of 10 for me. It was so much fun when Shenmue 1 and 2 got remastered for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. So excited to have this game on a modern day system, and I've loved it since the Dreamcast days. But even better than being able to play it on the PS4 was having other people be able to get it without having to track down the Dreamcast and buy the original copies, and being able to play it on their HD TVs was awesome. Game that totally took me by surprise. I had not played any of the other God of Wars, even though some of those go back to the PS2, which I was in the PS2 generation, but this game just came out of nowhere for me. It was like I wasn't hyped for it, I wasn't looking forward to it, I didn't even know about it, and then it came out, and it was like, damn, everybody is talking about this game. This game is like just back and forth. I couldn't escape it. It was on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, and every single place that I would turn, everybody was just praising the game. So I was like, fuck it, okay, putting everything else on the shelf for a minute. I'm going to GameStop and buying this game. I actually gave my original copy to my younger brother, Noah. I really wanted him to play it, so then I ended up going and buying myself another copy, a used copy. Just awesome. Oh my gosh. I actually played through it a second time, and then when I did that, I actually beat all of the Valkyrie. Really, really hard, super satisfying. This game, man, it's a game changer. It's like the gameplay, it's a serious video game. Like, it's a lot of games, can focus a little too heavily on story and not enough on gameplay. The gameplay in this makes you feel like you're playing a game from the Super Nintendo or the Nintendo era, except it's like modern and freaking just awesome in every single way. And then the story is completely phenomenal and emotional and deep. And then they're doing new things like the no-cut camera, which I'm just like blown away with. And the visuals are absolutely stunning. I mean, you must play this game. And this is a PS4 exclusive. Like, no getting around this. Like, if you don't have a PS4, get a PS4. That's another thing, man. The PS4 had so many exclusives this generation. I'm so glad that I had that. Actually, when I chose the PS4 over the Xbox One back in 2015, I was leaning very heavily towards getting an Xbox One because my buddy had one. I played it, and I was like, ooh, I really like this controller. And he was an Xbox fan and telling me all this stuff. But then it was like literally a week before I decided to get a PS4, they announced the Final Fantasy VII Remake and Shenmue 3, and both were going to be exclusive to the PS4. And it's so ironic that neither of those games are out yet, and yet I've had the PS4 for like 4 years. I don't know. It's funny to me. It's like, that's the reason that I got the PS4, and I still have not seen those games at all, but I'm still thankful that I had something like that to sway me to get the PS4, because ultimately it was a much better decision than the Xbox. So, another PS4 exclusive that absolutely is just like a 10 out of 10, literally for me, is Persona 5. There has not been another freaking Japanese role-playing game that is turn-based that more perfectly appropriates it to the modern era. Oh my gosh. Awesome story, very fun. long game. It took me about 100 hours. Just the battle system is really a work of art. And this game is probably the most stylish game I've ever seen. If you haven't seen it, you need to try it because it's just freaking awesome. One of the most recent games that I picked up, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's an okay game. For me, it's a 7 out of 10. It doesn't beat out most of the competition. It doesn't come anywhere close to The Witcher or Fallout or Skyrim or many of the other open world RPGs, but it was fun and it was okay, whatever. Maybe just not my exact cup of tea, but I did like it. I didn't finish it. I'm not going to. I just don't care that much. Horizon Zero Dawn, PS4 exclusive, and freaking awesome, and a absolute must play. This game is so dope and so unique. The setting for this game roped me in the very first time I saw a trailer for it. It's set like after us, so it's very much like blending prehistoric times and like tribal humans, except that it's like society has reset. So there's the remnants of our world still, all the cities and the buildings and the technology, but they don't have any idea what happened. And the story, the setting, and the gameplay, again, it's like it literally blended all of the perfect elements together. I platinumed this game. I've never platinumed another modern game, that was so awesome. Like, I just could not get enough of this game. And this is really cheap too now, and you can get the complete edition with the DLC and everything. Absolute must play again, and only on PlayStation. Get it. Like, you need a PS4. If you do not have a PS4, I don't care if you don't like PS4. I don't care if you think that it's a weak console, because it kind of is. I don't care if you like the PC game. Like, you need to get a PS4 just for the exclusives, if for nothing else. I don't even play my multiplats there anymore. I've moved on to the Xbox One X. It's 40% more powerful than the PS4 Pro. The visuals and the frame rates of most of the games just make the PS4 Pro look like a kid's system, but even so, still need it for the exclusives. Absolutely. All right, so now we're gonna move into a couple more games here. So I actually was so excited for Final Fantasy 15. Got this on launch day. I liked it a lot the first time through. I've come to like it less and less as I've gone on, as I've thought about it more, as I've revisited it. This game had pretty good gameplay, and it wasn't amazing, it wasn't phenomenal, but it was pretty good. It had a pretty beautiful world. It was fun to do a lot of the things along the way, like fishing and catching chocobos and exploring. Some of the areas are just kind of flat. Some of the characters were not fleshed out. I had such a hard time following this story. And actually, so then I bought this when this came out, the Royal Edition, and it was coming with a bunch of DLC, and they had like all these extra things for extra characters that were supposed to flesh out the story. And so I actually New Game Plus'd it. So the second time I was playing it, it was like I wasn't doing all the gameplay things, which is what kind of I realized at the time had kept me, entertained the first time around. And because I really was like, I want to understand the story. I want to understand what the hell's going on. So I New Game Plus'd it so that I could just blaze right through the story. And it just became so blaringly apparent to me that it was just lacking in so many ways. Like, I didn't understand the motivation of the characters. They would get emotional and start lashing out and yelling at each other. And I was like, I don't even know what happened. Like, people would die, and I'm like, who cares? Like, I don't know them at all. Like, why do I care? Bit of a disappointment. Like, this is how you do a modern day JRPG. It's sad. It's not horrible. It's just, I love Final Fantasy. It's one of my favorite series of all time. And that just was not it. I don't know. That was rough. Anyways, here we'll move on a little bit. Let me get some of these sorted. I got one of these in the wrong spot. I'll move it to somewhere else. All right. This was really cool. The Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy came out. Loved that. Spyro Remastered, so awesome. We played both of these series, of course, on the original PlayStation way back in the day. And I believe you can get both of these on the Xbox One and possibly the Switch, I'm not sure. But either way, totally fun. Totally worth getting. I got this game, Ease. I was having a hard time finding something to play. It was a little too cutesy. I didn't love the style. It just wasn't my style. I don't think it's a bad game at all. It's an action RPG. I may have liked it more if I had been in the right mood. It's really nice. It runs at a super solid 60 frames per second on the PlayStation 4 Pro, at least. I'm not sure about the base PS4. But it felt very smooth and good to play. I may go back to this someday. Maybe when I'm in the right mood, this will be good. But a lot of people love this game, so it is there. You can also get it on the Switch and probably the Xbox, I'm not sure. Oh, man. Here we go again with some freaking exclusives on the system. Oh my gosh. I had never played a Yakuza game, and I picked up Yakuza 0. Again, if you don't have a PS4, you need a PS4 and you need Yakuza 0. That's absolutely for sure. This game got me into beat-em-ups again. It's got an awesome story. This game is so emotional. This game made me cry, literally. The characters, the story, the setting, the gameplay, it's all there. So much heart, so much good shit. You have got to play this. And what's awesome about that is they've been re-releasing a lot of the series, because it goes all the way back to the PS2 and the PS3. They're up to like 6 or 7 in the main series now. Like, there's a 6th game, but this is Yakuza 0, so that makes 7. So the next one that I played was Yakuza Kiwami. This is a remake of the first game. Really, really good. Not as good as Yakuza 0, but very, very good. I've heard that Yakuza 2, which this is another remake from the PlayStation 2, Yakuza Kiwami 2. I've heard that this is like the best in the series by many, many fans. I'm very excited to play this. I just haven't gotten to it. So now we're getting into some of the games that I have for the system that are in my backlog. So this is the first game on my backlog. The next game that is in my backlog is Yakuza 6. This was a brand new game for this generation, and I just really wanted to support Sega and Sony, and again, a PlayStation 4 exclusive. And I just really, I know that it's going to be a good game, so I was like, fuck it, I'm going to buy it. I wanted to buy it at full price. I wanted to give them as much support. I want them to know, like, we want those kind of games. In the very same vein, another Sega and PS4 exclusive, Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise. I've heard only amazing things about this. This is in my backlog. Got to play it. Another game I've only played heard amazing things, Nier Automata. I'm really looking forward to this game. I just have to get to it. This was a game that someone recommended to me, and I think that I probably would like it if I actually played it. I just haven't had the time. Dragon Age Inquisition. I'm expecting it to be a long 100-so-hour RPG. It looks right up my alley. It's exactly the kind of game that I like. The thing about playing games like this that are really long, a lot of these games I've spent like hundreds of hours with, you know. The hard thing about playing games like that is that you don't get to all of them a lot. So that's in my backlog. I'm not sure if I'll play that or not. This I actually know almost nothing about. My brother-in-law gave this game to me. He really liked it, wants me to try it. Hopefully I'll get to that. Another game that I just really thought looked cool, and I heard some fun things about it, Vampire. I actually am thinking that I may trade this one in and get it on the Xbox One X because it will run better and look better. So I'm thinking about doing that, but I would love to play this game. I love vampire shit. It's just kind of like right up my alley, so I'd like to play that eventually. I never played the prequel to Metal Gear Solid: The Phantom Pain. This game launched and was basically like a demo of Metal Gear Solid 5. And they charged $60, so that was a pretty shit thing to do to people who were expecting a full game. But yeah, it's just a nice thing to have. I'm a big Metal Gear fan. Something else, a remaster that I would like to get into is BioShock. I actually, when I first bought a PS3, it came with BioShock, and I played it for, maybe like 3 hours, and I thought it was cool, but I was just distracted because there were a lot of other things I really wanted to play more. And at the time, I was just kind of like, I don't know what I think about modern games, you know. But I think now that if I went back and played this, I think I would really, really like it. So it was $20 for the collection. It comes with BioShock, BioShock Infinite, and BioShock 2. So yeah, I think that'll be pretty sweet. Again, I'm not sure what the difference is in playing this on the PS4 versus the Xbox One X, but I may look into that. I may trade this back in if the Xbox One X runs it better. I'm not really sure. Let's see here. Oh yeah, this was cool. Final Fantasy X was re-released on the PS4 with just better visuals and all that, and that's just really cool to be able to play that on a modern system. And these two games are actually not mine. These are my wife's. This is The Sims 4, which she loves playing The Sims, and Life is Strange, which doesn't actually look bad to me. I'm sure that it's a decent game. I've watched her play it a little bit. I really liked all the choices, and it has some interesting ideas, like you can turn back time and change your choices. I thought that was cool. I don't know, just another game. Anyway, guys, that's my PS4 collection. I've owned every iteration of the system. I started out with the base PS4. I bought the PS4 Slim when that came out, and then down the line I eventually went to the PS4 Pro because I wanted better frame rates, and that did give me some better frame rates, if only slightly. I really wish that the PS4 Pro had been more in line with like the Xbox One X's power. That would have made it a more worthwhile upgrade, but we're almost through this generation. It's really winding down. It won't be long before the PS5 and whatever new Xbox console is going to be coming out. And I can't wait. I can't wait. Gaming is awesome right now. Modern gaming is sweet. You better be playing some games. You know, there's more games that are amazing. Like, out of all these games, I would say that the lowest score I would give a single one of them is a 7 out of 10. Like, that's how good this generation has been. It's been just absolutely amazing. You really just can't go wrong. All right. Hope you guys are having a good one. If you have a PS4 Pro, PS4 Collection video, let me know. I would love to watch it. Let me know what games you guys really enjoyed in the comments. I love reading the comments. I like to hear other people's experiences. Hope you guys are having a good one. This has been really long. All right. Peace. Later.